Okay, so Hurricane Review is back for the playoffs and hopefully back for the regular season next season, but I'm not going to get into that. I won't make any promises, life gets in the way. I don't make any money. I only get 20 views, which is fine. Not too worried about it, but it is good to be back and I'll always talk about playoff hockey because playoff hockey is just the best television ever. Like other than Game of Thrones being my favorite TV show of all time and yeah, I'm trying to think. Other than Game of Thrones being my favorite TV show of all time, and a lot of other TV shows I've watched, Sons of Anarchy and stuff. I like wrestling. That's good television for me. Playoff hockey is like one of the most compelling things on television when it comes around. It is. And I can say that I didn't watch this game on television. I mean, despite the national broadcasting's best efforts, playoff hockey generally is. But I went to this game and it's like there's nothing like it. Even regular season hockey. I mean, hockey is just great no matter what it is. But even regular season hockey does not compare to playoff hockey. It just doesn't. Playoff hockey is a different animal. It just, I don't know what it is, but playoff hockey is just the best thing ever. So yeah, and I actually did go to this game one between Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins. And going into this playoff series, I'll upload my playoff bracket prediction, which I did before game one at some point in the next couple days, probably before game two against Boston on Wednesday. However, game two against Boston or I was nervous going into the series, is what I was saying, because Boston has had Carolina's number in the playoffs. It's just what they've done. I think I talked about in the second round during the pandemic playoffs, 2020 playoffs series, when Boston beat us. I joked we're Boston's bitch, and so I was nervous coming in. I still had Carolina winning, and for me, this is a big series for this core because Boston's aging down and Carolina's on the rise. However, there are some teams that have other teams' number, and as Boston's always been my second least favorite team in hockey. No offense to Boston fans, I like some Boston fans. Bill Burr, my favorite stand-up comedian, is a Boston fan. They've always been my second least favorite team. I don't want that team to be Boston, but just right now, the past 2 out of 3 seasons we met Boston in the playoffs, they have been. So coming into this playoff series, I don't know what to expect, whether that was going to continue, but there are definitely demons for the Carolina Hurricanes that they're going to have to overcome, and this is their shot to do it. I mean, there's a lot on the line in this season. You lose to Boston here, it's an underwhelming season. You went beat Boston in the first round. You're going to have all that momentum of beating the Demons. You don't know what happens in round two, round four. Any team in the final four can win the Stanley Cup. So, I mean, yeah, this is a big series, and I think it's the biggest this core has faced, honestly. Even bigger than the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals because we were overperforming. I don't think anyone, myself included, I didn't have Carolina making the playoffs in my 2019 season predictions, and they did. Let alone making it to the final four, which was great. Love when they proved me wrong, and I called out a lot of things that proved me wrong. I think I uploaded a video called "Carolina's Tainting Their Future," aged poorly, and I'm glad that aged poorly. So back to this game, and it honestly felt as close to a perfect game one as you can get. No hockey game is perfect. Boston really did push. I got a little bit nervous when Boston got that goal early in the third period because Boston did do that against Carolina, I think twice in that pandemic series. So coming into that playoff series, for yeah, I'm out of practice. You can't tell. I haven't done this in a while, but other than that, Carolina, they pushed hard. They were hitting guys that don't normally hit, like Natchez and Niederreiter, were throwing the body. Jacob Slavin doesn't hit that often. He threw the body. And it's like everyone was throwing the body. Svechnikov has 69 playoff hits now, which I love the fact that Carolina has one of their top goal scorers who isn't afraid to throw the body around because I like players that hit. I like watching hits in hockey, and that's partly why I love playoff hockey so much. But it was just a storm. It snowballed. I mean, it was some crazy good hockey tonight or last night for the Carolina Hurricanes. They were firing on all cylinders. They had a hard time scoring on Allmark in the first period. And, to Ranta's credit, Ranta played a spectacular game being the backup goalie coming into this playoff series. You know, Freddie's hurt, a lot of pressure on the backup goalie, and he came in and he looked like you wouldn't know he was the backup coming into this game. I had a guy who I was taking to their first ever Hurricanes game tonight. They wouldn't have known. So it's like he just played unbelievable. And I mean, he stole the show for this game. I don't think he stole the game. I think Carolina was objectively the better team. So, but he didn't. So I don't think he stole the game, but he made some crucial saves. Brendan Smith, one of the goals I think was credited as a save to Ranta. Brendan Smith really did a good job getting his stick in there as well and being able to brush that away. Brendan Smith, that play by Brendan Smith, I want to acknowledge that. I think it was in the first period. The puck was trickling in. It got through Ranta. It was on the goal line. That goal line paddle save. Brendan Smith's stick got there as well. And if Brendan Smith's stick isn't there, I don't know if that's not a goal. And if you're Brendan Smith and you're watching this video, which you probably are, Brendan Smith, that was as good as a goal. When you stop the puck from trickling in like that, that is as good as a goal in my book because that team has a goal and he took that goal away from them. So just shout out to Brendan Smith for that play. And I don't think anybody really had a bad game. I thought Natchez made a few weak breakout passes, but when that's the worst thing you can say about how a team is playing is a couple bad breakout passes. That's, that's not really that bad. Like, because when a team's forechecking you as much as Boston was, you're going to mess up a few breakout passes. So the fact that that's the worst thing that I can say about the team is honestly a huge mark to how well this team played this game. I mean, there's not much else to say there. Shout out to Seth Jarvis being the first Hurricane to score in your playoff run. I guarantee you, I cannot believe I'm able to call someone a kid now because it's the first player in the Hurricanes younger than me playing in the NHL. But that kid is going to remember that goal for the rest of his life. I guarantee it. Coming into game one of the playoffs, your rookie year, you get the first goal for your team in the entire playoffs, not just a playoff round or series or game, the entire playoffs. That's got to feel good. And it was assist from Slavin because Slavin gets assists in the playoffs. That's just what he does. So that was great. Nino with that snipe. Nino, if it wasn't for Hurricane of the Game, who I'll get to, Nino playing as insane as they did, Nino would get Hurricane of the Game for me personally. Trocheck getting an amazing, I think he had 2 goals because they mentioned he had the game winner. No, Nino should have had the game winner. But anyway, Trocheck getting that 4th goal, really icing the game with that play. I do think that is more Olmark's fault because as good of a shot as that was by Trocheck, I mean, Olmark should have had his shoulder up against the post there. So, not to take anything away from Trocheck taking that shot, he saw the hole, he identified the hole the goalie was leaving open, and he tucked it in. So, fair play to him there. I don't want to take anything away from that goal. That was a great goal, and that clinched game 1 for the Carolina Hurricanes. And for Hurricane of the game, I mentioned him earlier, Ranta, just a beautiful performance by him. I wish he got the shutout, but we couldn't. Felt like Carolina still rallied and played a lot for him. And yeah, that was just a great game. 1 game down, 15 more games to go. Let's fucking go.